This is the CEIE Waffle Talk, where Seattle University students share a keystone value that shapes their lives and the world around us while eating waffles.
Hi, I'm Katie. Very happy to be here today, and I'm a junior studying business economics here at Seattle University. My keystone value that I really want to talk about today is how we show gratitude as students and being able to show gratitude with your actions.
Great. Gratitude.
So, something that is on my mind a lot as a student is recognizing all of these opportunities that have been given to me by my family, by the school, by professors, by friends, and being able to share how thankful I am for those opportunities, but also acknowledging the resources that I have to thank them.
Okay. What kinds of resources do you have in mind?
Yeah, so the resources I have in mind, and I was thinking in terms of my effort, my accomplishments, how I can give back through my time or my service. While this time in my life, I may not have the financial ability to give back in the way that I might like to. For example, repaying people for the opportunity to go to college. But what I do have is my effort and my desire to accomplish things to show that I'm taking full advantage of the resources that I've been offered. So when my parents, and I'm so grateful that they were able to pay for a portion of my college,
Yeah.
in a way, the way that I try and thank them is to show them that I'm taking advantage of everything that the university has to offer. I'm participating in clubs, getting jobs on campus. And when I share that with my parents and share how wonderful of a time that I'm having, that's how I'm showing my gratitude for all of their hard work in giving me this opportunity.
So let me just ask for a moment in terms of your expression of gratitude. They've given something to you from them. How do they respond to your gratitude?
Yeah, the response is generally definitely being proud, but mostly being happy that
Mm.
what they're giving me is paying off and is impacting my life for the better. And I also acknowledge that the extent of this offer, it is limited in terms of they're helping me out for these 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm making the most of these 4 years that to be able to support myself beyond that, so that after making this investment in me, mentally, emotionally, financially as their kid, I'm able to take everything they've given and to support myself on my own in the future. And they recognize that, and it's a their response is, like I said before, just very happy that their sacrifices have been worthwhile in my life.
How do you feel in the kind of light of their pride for you?
That's kind of a complex question because throughout my life I've always been grateful for these opportunities and tried to give back. But when I'm working hard and I gain that recognition from my parents, my hard work wasn't necessarily for the recognition of my parents. My hard work was a way to show my gratitude, but the ultimate source of the hard work came from within.
Okay.
So they're giving me this opportunity. I share my gratitude through my actions and all my effort, but their response of pride and a sense of joy is not necessarily what drives me.
Okay.
I would say. I mean, I think in the absence of their pride, that might be a different story, and I may have come out a different way. But their pride and recognition of my accomplishments seems like the cherry on top.
Right.
But I think the underlying motivation for me is internal, and to just show that gratitude without the response.
Why is that so important? What's happening for you in the kind of internal life that's generative of gratitude moving out into the world?
Yeah, I think gratitude has evolved this way within me, going back to the resources I feel like I have. In your early 20s, it's such a formative period where you're being given so many opportunities left and right. And it can be a little bit hard to dissect them and figure it out. But at a time where so much is being given to you, I find it really difficult to return the favor and to give back. Like a verbal thank you doesn't feel like it accounts for all of the opportunities and kind of the life changing events that are happening now. So the way I feel like in my mind I can be at balance with the rest of the world with all of these is to have that very generative gratitude where it's kind of built into my life with every decision I make has in mind what was given to me and how I can repay it back like perpetually
Mm-hmm.
at this time in my life. So instead of a word or one action, it feels like it guides how I respond.
Mm-hmm.
But something I also want to touch on is making sure that this is sustainable gratitude. Last year as a sophomore, I think I ran into the time where I was taking on too much, so that eventually I had to take a step back and I had to reevaluate how much can I be building generative gratitude
Mm-hmm.
in a sustainable way,
Mm-hmm.
because at some point that runs out and then I feel like I'm not being thankful for what I was given.
Mm.
So it's that's a crucial element to it too.
Unsustainable gratitude leads to a kind of burnout. What does that feel like?
For me, it felt a little bit, I wouldn't say like failure,
Mm.
but it felt like overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
because last fall, in fall of 2022, I had so many things on my plate that were kind of seeds with the potential to grow into so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I desperately wanted to hold on to all these seeds because I knew they could give me so many opportunities that I didn't want to throw any of them away.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did not make the best decision. I kept on to all the seeds, and they have grown into wonderful things that I'm thankful for today.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely overwhelming. It's definitely still hard to have that generative gratitude. I think what sacrificed that semester was my academics and my enjoyment of academics. That's definitely something I felt bad about. I was definitely reaching out to my parents and sharing how much trouble I was having.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in turn, it didn't make them think I was thankless, but it hurt them to know
Mm-hmm.
that the opportunities they set me up with was eventually hurting me
Mm-hmm.
because of how I was treating them.
But also to your point, I mean, there's a certain courage in being able to say when I'm hurting and need some help and feeling a little burnout, I can also do that, and it's not being thankless. It's not showing ingratitude for students to know that. I think it's really
Right.
an essential part of the conversation too. Right?
Definitely. And that's something I was very much supported on.
Mm-hmm.
And if any activity I needed to take a step back on,
Mm-hmm.
everyone in this community was so understanding. But it still makes it difficult when you have that generative gratitude attitude,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're turning things away that could be wonderful opportunities. But in kind of this new age of where we thankfully are able to talk about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that needs to be reconciled and
Mm-hmm.
figure out how the two can work together.
Mm-hmm.
And because they can,
Mm-hmm.
but it's when you're seeing all these opportunities, it's so hard to kind of put yourself first in order for the longevity of them.
Mm-hmm. What do you think gratitude, or do you have a sense of what gratitude might look or feel for you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and all? Do you have a sense of forecasting that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. When I look at, like you said, gratitude in my 20s, yes, it comes from the resources I have, but a lot of it was shaped by the resources I don't have
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as I hopefully enter my 30s and 40s, I think gratitude could come maybe financially.
Mm-hmm.
One of my goals when I'm older is I receive a scholarship from my local community back home.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to eventually become a donor for that scholarship
Mm-hmm.
and to give back in the exact same way I received help. So financially is definitely one of them. Another way I hope to give back is with my expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm absorbing information, but in the future, I hope to give back to my school as a mentor or other affiliate of the university where I can help students like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely giving back with expertise. And another, thinking to family now too, I can give back with my support. So I feel like right now I'm definitely being very supported by my parents, but maybe in my 30s and 40s, there comes a time where I can better support my parents. So definitely several ways that I think my resources shift throughout my life and multiple avenues to give back.
What else would you like to say about this keystone value of gratitude for your life?
Yeah, I would like to say that it is difficult sometimes to see all of the opportunities that you are given, and different experiences growing up can affect your ability to see these opportunities. But I encourage all students to look at the university and explore the different programs and see that there's so many resources out there that want you to participate, that want to give you leadership positions, students that want to talk to you about their experiences if you're in need of help.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage students to seek those opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and make the most of their early
Mm-hmm.
20s.
So this is the Waffle Talk. The last question on the Waffle Talk
Mm.
is, how do you eat your waffles? What do you put on them?
Ooh, this is a great question. It reminds me of my favorite waffle place
Mm.
called More Than Waffles
Oh yeah.
in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
And my favorite dish was waffles with like an apple compote with
Oh,
cinnamon and
cool.
sugar.
Oh man, that's great. Okay,
That's my favorite
that's
breakfast.
original. Terrific. Thank you. This is the Waffle Talk.
Thank you.